Hello, my friends. This is Mrs. Coolis here with today's math lesson. Okay, lesson 6, convert customary units of weight. So remember yesterday we talked about customary units of weight. We talked about pounds, like this is 1 pound of butter, right? So if you have it has 4 sticks inside, which I don't have open yet. But if you have a pound of butter like this in your fridge, you could take it out and kind of feel to see how much it weighs. So weight is how heavy something is, right? Okay, so you measure weight in pounds or ounces. Here's some cherries. So 1 cherry is weighs about 1 ounce, and there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. You could even see that on the butter here. I don't know if you can see that. It says net weight 16 ounces is 1 pound. Okay, and this is different than the fluid ounces that we talked about in terms of capacity. The difference between weight and capacity, again, weight is how heavy something is, and capacity is how much something holds, right? And it measures how much liquid a jar of something would, or a glass would hold. Okay, so that is, or like a gallon jug, right? So capacity is how much something holds, right? How much liquid it will hold, and weight is how heavy something is, okay? And if you hold it in your hand, it kind of gives you a good idea. There's the butter versus the ounce, okay? You can kind of get a feel for it. Okay, the other unit of measurement for weight is a ton, and a ton is really, really heavy. Okay, like how much a car would weigh if you were to try to lift it up. Okay, this book, My Customary Conversions, little booklet with weight, length, and capacity. Today, then, we're doing these converting the customary units of weight between the 3 ounces, pounds, and ton. An ounce, the abbreviation is OZ. Pound, the abbreviation is LB. Maybe you've heard somebody say, you've heard the expression like, oh, I need to lose a few LBs. That means they want to lose a few pounds. Okay, a ton is, the symbol is a cannot even speak, is a capital T. Okay, so 1 ounce is here. 16 ounces equal 1 pound. 32,000 ounces equals 1 ton. Here's the pounds again. 1 pound is 16 ounces, and 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. Okay, here we are again. 1 ton equals 32 ounces. 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds, and there's the 1 ton. Okay, so we're doing conversions today. Recall that to convert from a larger unit to a smaller unit, you need to multiply. So 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So to go from pounds to ounces, you need to multiply by 16. Okay, here's the first question. Example 1, Lee needs to buy 4 pounds of vegetable burger patties. The table shows the number of ounces in each package of patties. How many packages will Lee need to buy? Okay, so you have this table here. Okay, and you can see here the title of the table says vegetable burger patties. This is the number of packages in this column, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here's the number of ounces per package. So if you have 1 package, you have 32 ounces. 2 packages, 64, 396, 428. Okay, we need to buy 4 pounds. So to figure out how many ounces we'd need, we're going to convert 4 pounds to ounces. Okay, so because pounds are larger than ounces, multiply. We're going to multiply. There are 16 ounces in a pound, so multiply 4 by 16. So if you remember how we do these 2-digit multiplication, right? 4 times 6 is 24. You put down the 4 and you carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. 4 times 16 is 64. 4 pounds equals 64 ounces. So if you look at the chart here, here's 64 ounces. I'm going to need to buy 2 packages. Okay, turn the page. Oh, sorry, that was on page 729. Hopefully you got that. I forgot to say that earlier. Okay, again, a ton is really, really heavy. The unit of measurement ton is 2,000 pounds. Okay, so 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. Here's example 2. Use the table to find how many pounds a stegosaurus weighed. Okay, so if you look here, the title of the table here is Dinosaur Weights. There's the different types of dinosaurs here, and we're talking about the stegosaurus right here. And here's the weight in tons going down. The stegosaurus weighs 3 tons. Okay, So to find the weight of a stegosaurus in pounds, you multiply the number of tons by 2,000. Okay, so they give you a little hint here on the side, and they're showing you that 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 20 is 60, 3 times 200 is 600, so 3 times 2,000 is 6,000, okay? So see what they're doing here? They're just multiplying these two numbers, 3 times 2 to 6, and then however many zeros you have in the multiplication problem, you just kind of add them to the end, right? 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1, 2, 3 more zeros, okay? Or you could do it the long way, like this, 2,000 times 3. 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so for this lesson, we're going to be doing some bigger multiplication because we're multiplying by 16 and 2,000, so you might want to have an extra piece of paper like I do here. Excuse me, to work out your calculations. Okay, here's the guided practice. Okay, and I had filled this in already because I had to stop the video because I had an interruption, but let's see what we do here. Okay, so there are 16 ounces in a pound, right? So for these conversions, we're going to multiply by 16. Okay, so maybe you could do this in your head. 2 times 16 is 32 because 16 plus 16 is 32. But if I wanted to multiply, let's cover this up a little bit so it's not so confusing. Okay, 16 times 2. 2 times 6 is 12. I put down the 2, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 1. I'm sorry, is 2 plus 1 more is 1. Oh my goodness, is 3. I'm losing my noodle today. Okay, I like to circle the 1 so I don't get it confused with the other numbers. So the number of ounces in 2 pounds is 32. And then they want you to write the coordinates, 2 and 32. Okay, now the next number is 4. So 16 times 4. Oh, sorry, the next number is 3. 16 times 3, I'm losing it today. 3 times 6 is 18, I put down the 8, I carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. So the table you'd fill in 3 and 48, and here 3 and 48. Okay, the next number is 4. 16 times 4, 4 times 6 is 24, put down the 4, carry the 2 this time. Again, I like to circle it so I don't get mixed up with my numbers. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. So 64 is the next number I write in the chart. And then a 4 and a 64. Okay, the next number they want us to multiply 16 by is 5. 16 times 5, okay, that's a multiplication sign. 5 times 6 is 30. I put down the 0, carry the 3. Again, I like to circle it so I don't get mixed up with my numbers. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 more is 8. So I'm writing 80 in the chart, and my two numbers here in pounds and ounces is 5 and 80. Okay, the next chart is converting tons to pounds. So there are 2,000 pounds in a ton. Okay, so the first number they want us to do is 2. So I'm turn this around a little bit. I don't have too many numbers going on. Okay, so 2,000 times 2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, the other way I could do that is cover up the zeros. And 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3 zeros. Okay, so fill in the chart, 4,000, and in this box you're going to fill in the two coordinates, 2 and 4,000. The next number they want us to multiply by is 4 tons. So 2,000 times 4. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. Again, if I were to cover up those zeros and just do 4 times 2, that's 8, and then add 3 more zeros, there's your number. So in the next box, you're going to fill in 8,000, and it's 4 and 8,000. The next number of tons they want us to multiply by is 6. So 2,000 times 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. So 12,000 is the next number in the chart, and it's 6 and 12,000 for the last box. Not very good zeros. Okay, and the next number is 8. So 2,000 times 8. 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 2 is 16. Again, I could cover up those zeros, right? 8 times 2 is 16 and add them at the end. 16,000 is what I fill in here. And 8 and 16,000 in the next box. Okay, my friends. Now, the next page, turn the page, is independent practice. So go ahead and try numbers 3 and 4 on your own and stop the video while you do that, and then play the video again and we will check your answers. Okay, my friends, so the first chart we're going from pounds to ounces. So you're going to multiply by 16. So 16 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. You put down the 6, carry the 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 more is 9. So the first box you're going to fill in is 96, and then 6 and 96. Okay? Next one they want you to do is 8. So 16 times 8. 8 times 6 is 48. Put down the 8, carry the 4. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 more is 12. So the next one is 128, and then 8 and 128. The next number they want us to do is 10. Okay, so you could write it this way, or you might remember that I showed you this trick where you could kind of scooch it over and just do it this way. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Bring down that 0, it's 160. Or if I did the long way, 0 times 6 is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. Put a 0 to hold your place. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Add it together, and you get the same answer. So 160 is the number you fill in here, and the coordinates are 10 and 160. Finally, they want us to do 16 times 12. Okay, so if you remember, 2 times 6 is 12. I put down the 2, I carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. Then I have to put a 0 to hold my place. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. I add this together. 2 plus 0 is 2. 3 plus 6 is 9, and 1. So I fill in 192 and 12 and 192. Okay, the next one, you're talking about tons to pounds. There's 2,000 pounds per ton. So again, you could just do the numbers, the 2 and the 2 is 4, and then you add 3 zeros. 3 times 2 is 6, and you add 3 zeros. 5 times 2 is 10, add 3 zeros. 7 times 2 is 14, add 3 zeros. And then the last box should be 2 and 4,000 in parentheses, 3 and 6,000 in parentheses, 5 and 10,000 in parentheses, and 7 and 14,000 in parentheses. Okay, the next one here, why don't you try to do the numbers 5 through 10 on your own, pause the video, and then we'll go over the answers together. Okay, so the first one is 3 tons, and we want to know how many pounds are in 3 tons. So there's 2,000 pounds in a ton, so 2,000 times 3. 3 times 0 is 0, 0, 0, 3 times 2 is 6. So the first one is 6,000 pounds, okay? There are 16 ounces per pound, so 16 times 2, 12, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3, 32. So the number, there are 32 ounces in 2 pounds, okay? I have 6 tons and I want to go to pounds, so I'm doing 2,000 times 6, again it's 0, 0, 0, 6 times 2 is 12,000. Okay, now this one is a little trickier because you have a fraction here. So just like we've done with other conversions, first you need to figure out the whole number, which is 4, and you're going from pounds to ounces. So there are 16 ounces in a pound, so 16 times 4 4 times 6 is 24. Put down the 4, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 64. Okay, now you have to figure out the 1/2. So you're going to multiply 1/2 times 16 over 1. Okay, 1 times 16 is 16. 2 times 1 is 2. So 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8. So you add these two numbers together. 64 plus 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. So the correct answer for number 8 is 72. Did you get that? Hopefully you did. Okay, number 9, I could maybe do this one in my head because I have 10 pounds and there's 16 ounces in a pound. 16 times 1 is 16 and you add that 0, okay? Or you can do it this way. Kind of scooch it over. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Add that 0. So the answer here is 160. Okay, I have 4 tons and I want to go to pounds. There are 2,000 pounds in a ton, so 2,000 times 4 tons, 0, 0, 0. 4 times 2 is 8. So the correct answer for number 10 is 8,000. Okay. Next one, they want us to go from pounds to ounces. And we have 5 pounds. There are 16 ounces per pound. So go ahead and try 11 through 13 on your own if you want to pause the video. And then hit play again and we'll go over the answers. Okay, let's see how you did. 16 times 5, 16 ounces per pound. 5 times 6 is 30. I put down the 0, carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 more is 8. So the correct answer here is 80. Okay, now we're going from tons to pounds. There's 2,000 pounds per ton. So 2,000 times 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. So the correct answer here is 6,000. Okay. Now this next one again has a fraction, okay? So I'm going from pounds to ounces. So I have 16 ounces per pound. I multiply by that whole number first, so 16 times 11. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. I put down the 0 as my placeholder. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Now I add. 6 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 6 is 7, 1. Okay, so that's how many whole I have. Now I have to do the fraction part. So 1/4 times 16 over 1. 1 times 16 equals 16. 4 times 1 equals 4. 16 divided by 4, because that's what a fraction is, equals 4. Okay, now I have to add these two numbers together. 176 plus 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. I put down the 0, carry the 1. 7 plus 1 more is 8. And 1 and 0 is 1. So the correct answer here is 180. Okay. Now it says to circle the table that represents the correct relationship between pounds and ounces. Okay, so there are 16 ounces in a pound. So if you look here at the different charts or tables, you could see, okay, if I have 1 pound, I have 16 ounces. All right, so that one is a possibility of being correct. This one, not correct. This one, possibility of being correct. This one, no, it's backwards, right? It should be 1 and 16. So that one's not right. Okay, well, maybe you can do in your head 16 plus 16 is 32. So 16 times 2 is 32. Okay, how about this? 16 plus 16, ooh, that's not 24. So the correct answer here, the table, it has the correct numbers, and I could go along and do the other numbers as well, but really not necessary because I've already eliminated this one, okay? So there's your answer. Next page. Okay, it says here that baby animals weigh different amounts at birth. They gave us a chart here. Here's the animal, alligator, giraffe, a giant panda, and a walrus. And here's their birth weight. Look how it ranges. Alligator's only 2 ounces when they're first born. A giraffe, 100 to 150 pounds. A giant panda, 3 to 5 ounces only, right? Look how big that gets, kind of like the alligator. A walrus, though, birth weight is 100 to 160 pounds. So big differences here. Okay, so it says, what is the least weight of a baby giraffe in ounces? So if you look at the chart, the least amount they typically are is 100 pounds, right? And how many ounces are in a pound? 16. So we're gonna do 16 times, I'm gonna do my trick where I scooch it over a little bit, like this. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1, and I bring down my zeros. So the correct answer here for number 15 is 1,600, and don't forget the units, ounces. You could write out the word, or the abbreviation is OZ. And I like to do my Z with a little line so that you could tell it's a Z and not a 2. Okay, what is the greatest weight of a baby walrus in ounces? Okay, so a baby walrus on the heavier end is 160 pounds. So 160 times, there's 16 ounces in a pound. Okay, let's take a look at this. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 6 is 36. Put down the 6, carry the 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 more is 9. Okay, I did that number. I'm going to put my 0 as my placeholder. Now I do the 1 in the tens place here. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. I add them together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 6 is 15. I carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so here's our answer in ounces. It's 2,560 ounces. OUNCES or OZ for the abbreviation. Okay, this says, if a baby walrus weighs 100 pounds, how many more ounces does it weigh than a baby alligator? Okay, so first we need to figure out how many ounces a walrus weighs if it's 100 pounds, right? Okay, so we're going to times each pound by 16 because there's 16 ounces in a pound, right? So we would do 16 times 100, okay? Then I do my little scoochy over trick. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Add my zeros to the answer there. Okay, so this is how many ounces a baby walrus weighs, okay? So, how many ounces? And a baby alligator, if you look at the chart, weighs only 2 ounces. So, it's asking me for the difference, right? So, I'm going to say 1,600 minus 2 ounces, okay? Remember how you do this? You're going to have to borrow because I can't subtract 2 from 0. So I have to borrow from the 0. Whoop, but I don't have enough to borrow from here, right? So now I have to go, so I make it a 9, go to the next place value over to the 100 spot, and I'm going to borrow from the 100 spot, make that a 5, okay? Make that a 9, make that a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 0 is 9. 5 minus 0 is 5, and 1, okay? You can check your answer, right? In subtraction, you can add it to make sure you're right. So if I were to add 2 here, just as a check, to make sure I did it the right way because of the borrowing, 8 plus 2 is 10. I put down 0, carry the 1, 9 and 1 is 10. 5 plus 1 is 6. And 1. Okay, so yep, that's our correct answer right here. Okay, so we're going to fill it in. So the difference would be 1,598 ounces. Okay, but it says to explain, So we're gonna say 100 pounds equals 1,600 ounces, and 1,600 minus 2 equals 1,598. That's what we did here, right? Okay, Tiffany weighed 7 pounds 12 ounces when she was born. Her weight doubled after 4 months. How much did Tiffany weigh after 4 months? Ooh, it's a really good real world problem, right? Okay, so if she's doubling, that means it's times by 2, right? So here's what I would do. I would first just do the pounds, and then I would do the ounces, and then take a look at my answer, okay? So let's do that. 7 times 2, she's doubling her weight, is 14 pounds, right? Okay. Now, she's also 12 ounces. 12 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, is 24 ounces, right? Okay, how many ounces are there in a pound though? There are 16 ounces in a pound, right? So if I take away 16 ounces here, I have to borrow. So 14 minus 6 is 8 ounces. And what did I do here? I'm adding another pound over here, right? Because if I take away 1 pound, I'm going to put it over here. So 14 plus 1 more pound is 15. So her weight at 4 months, if it's doubled, is 15 pounds, 8 ounces. Okay, so let's write our answer, and it also tells us to explain. So her weight doubled, so it's 15 pounds, 8 ounces. Okay, and writing out your answer, after 4 months, she weighed what do we get here first? 14 and 24 ounces, right? She weighed 14 pounds. What do we do here? 24 ounces. Okay. Since 1 pound equals 16 ounces, she weighed 15 pounds, 8 ounces. Okay, that's a tricky one. Hey, do you guys know how much your birth weight was? Maybe you could ask your parents how much you weighed when you were born. That would be kind of interesting to see. Okay, and see, maybe your parents even know if you doubled your birth weight at 4 months or not. That happens a lot. Okay, let's see now. The last one says, how can I convert measurements of weight? Give an example. Okay, so we can say when converting from large units to small units, or smaller units, you multiply. Multiply. Okay, what do you think the opposite would be? You would, if you were going from smaller units to larger units, you would have to divide, right? Okay, and what do you multiply by? You multiply by the number of small units that are in one of the large units. That is the answer for that one. So go ahead and try the homework page on your own. If you have any questions, then join our Zoom call at 11 o'clock and I can help you with that. Okay, take care, my friends.